let's start talking about the Stila Shimmer and Glow liquid eyeshadows, of which I own 3. So from lightest to darkest, I have the shade Kitten, Jezebel, and Twig. I really like all of these a lot. I use the 2 lightest shades. Ooh, kitty intervention. I like the 2 lightest shades the most because they are more flattering on my eye. The darker shade is a little harder for me to wear from day to day because it's just so bright. The Kitten one, which is the lightest one, is good for more of a inner corner highlight or just kind of top off my eyeshadow. And then this one, Jezebel, is pretty good for all over the lid, which is a kind of more rose gold color. So let me just swatch all 3 of those for you. So let's do Kitten first. It's got this really nice packaging, rose gold. I got this kind of in a set on Nordstrom's when they had a sale. Let's see, so it's got this nice petal. It's very flexible actually if you feel it. So let's go there. Swipe across. These are very, very pigmented. They dry down. It's got this moussey texture, dries down quickly, so you don't actually have a lot of time to move things around. So I find that sometimes a little bit difficult, but I think if you put a lot on, it is easier to move around, but I don't like to put that much on. So with a lighter layer, obviously it will dry down faster. It is very glittery. It's a nice pinky champagne color. So this is Kitten. The next one we have is the shade Jezebel, which is a rose gold. Same thing. Let's put it right here. These kind of bottles are really satisfying to open and close for some reason. This is less shimmer. This is more of a metallic look to it. As you can see, it's really nice. I'm trying to catch the light here. There we go. There's the shine. Okay, so that's Jezebel. And then the last one is Twig, which is a more maroon, brownish color, maybe a little bit of mauve in there. And then let me just swatch it there. So yeah, very brown. Ooh, kitties. And let's move the camera a little bit. So the brown color, I think it really is beautiful. If it's something that is a look that you can do, but this one I think dries down the quickest. It may be the one that I put on the least of because it's such a dark color. Yeah, so I'm trying to find a good way to use this one still, but we shall see. So these are really beautiful. I enjoy them all. Talk about some Colourpop ones. So I only have 4 Colourpop, Super Shock shadows. I got 3 of them early on several years ago. They've stayed good pretty well. A lot of people do talk about them drying out quite a bit, but I don't feel like that's as much an issue for me. I really make sure I twist really hard to make sure they're closed well. And so I have kind of 3 more mauve-y colors, and one recent one that I bought is more of a champagne pink, kind of glittery topper color. So let's start with the Super Shock shadow in Mixed Tape. This is more of a grayish taupe color. Let's twist that one on a little too tight. So as you can see, it's more of a satin finish. There's no harsh glitters in there. I've used this one a lot. And let's swatch that here. Yeah, it's definitely more of a purple mauve color. I use this all over the lid when I want a cool toned look. As you can see there. These stay on pretty well on my lids because they are a more leaning towards powderier formula because of that Super Shock kind of bouncy, spongy texture that they have. They're not like exactly like a total cream eyeshadow. They're more of a cream to powder, I would say. So that's what I like about them. They do stay well. This one is called Bill, and it is a matte eyeshadow. It's also kind of a purpley taupey color, but it's just matte. And this one is a little more lavender in it. I went through this whole phase where I really enjoyed purple eyeshadows, and I still do, but I don't wear it as much. I've moved on to more of a bronze feel, but the combination of these two is really, really nice. And the next one I've got is this darker color one, which is called, what is it called? Oh, it doesn't have a name on it for some reason. That's kind of weird. But it's an ultra glitter. I'm not sure that they make this shade anymore, honestly. It's more of a brown purple, very dark. Let's see there. It's got some chunky glitter in there, which I don't love, but I think since I've kind of gotten into more of a bronze brown eyeshadow all over the lid kind of look, it's become more usable for me. I've kind of jumped on the slightly warmer eyeshadow train these days. And then this last one is called Prickly Pear. Oh, maybe it's on the top. Oh, this other shadow is actually called, the darker one I just swatched is called 3, just like the number 3. So anyways, back to this new one, Prickly Pear. I really like this one. It's more of a pinky, cooler, with a hint of brown, hint of mauve kind of color, but on the skin it's much more pink. Ooh, computer's falling asleep, and you can see also kind of glitter going on, which I don't love like a lot of scattered glitter, but it's got that kind of sequin effect where it's not just like all glitter, it's kind of more scattered, less dense. And I like this look all over the lid a lot, so this is a nice color. So those are the Colourpop ones. Next, let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury. I guess not recently, more so in the past year, fell in love with kind of, like I said, kind of the one eyeshadow all over the lid look that people have been talking about, because it's just so easy. If you find the right color, it can add a lot of dimension to your eyes without having to use multiple colors. So I have 3 of them, and they're pretty expensive. They're in the $30-some, $40 range. So I have 3 shades. One is in Bette, one is in Mona Lisa, and last one is Marie Antoinette. These two are kind of bronzy golden colors, and this one is more of a darker brown, which I actually find comparable to the Stila Shimmer and Glow liquid eyeshadow, which is just definitely different formulas, but I think the color is very similar. So let's do Bette first. I saw this one first when I was watching and the Anna edit. She talks about this shade a lot, and she's more of a warm eyeshadow person than I am, but she was really a fan of this one. As you can see, it's kind of a really nice golden color. It's got that, I've used this one a lot as a single eyeshadow, which I actually did like it. Because I have hooded lids as an Asian person, most eyeshadows when I open my eyes don't show up, so I kind of blend it a little bit higher on the eye. So I try my best with these to not just put it on the lid, but above the lid as well. So it actually shows up when I'm, looking at people with my eyes open. So this is the first color. This is a lot of color payoff. It's got like a nice, super moussey, creamy, emollient texture. I feel like it doesn't ever completely dry down like the Stila one, liquid one does, but it's like a very satisfying texture to be touching. So I really like this one. The problem with all of these for me is that they don't stay on my eyes very well. They kind of mostly kind of go away by the end of the day because I have relatively oily eyelids. So let's talk about the next one. This is Marie Antoinette, the second color. This is more, they describe as an oyster gold. Let me just compare the three for you. So they look slightly different. This is more of a cooler tone, bronzy color. This is more mauve. This is the Mona Lisa, the Marie Antoinette, and the, oh, cats are moving the camera. Oh, there we go. All right. And then Bette. So we were talking about Marie Antoinette. This one is Jessica Braun on YouTube's favorite. I kind of took recommendations when I was looking into these shadows from a lot of different YouTubers. So this one was, there we go. Yeah, it's much more cool tone. It's very metallic, very shiny as you can see. And it's absolutely beautiful on my lid. The color of my lids are a little bit darker than the rest of my skin, where I'm usually pretty fair elsewhere. So a lot of lighter shadows don't show up super well, but this one is super beautiful. It's got this undertone of purple, coolness to it, taupey bronze, I guess is the best way to describe it. And then the last one we have is Mona Lisa. I bought this in New York City when I was there on vacation in like May of last year, because I had forgotten to bring any eyeshadow with me to town because I was going to a wedding. I needed some eyeshadow, and then I was like going to Florida for vacation, so I needed an eyeshadow, and I was like, I've been dying to try this other color, so yeah, that's the one I got. I just like stopped by Sephora on Fifth Avenue or something. So this one is a lot darker. I know that is a color I could really blend out and use in a lighter hand kind of way. So as you can see, it's this brown, also extremely shiny color. It's also got a hint of like more purple to it. From bottom to top, this is Bette, Marie Antoinette, and Mona Lisa. These are the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream eyeshadows. I really enjoy these, despite the fact that they don't stay on my eyes super well. I realize that I actually have to put in a lot more than I think I do to make them stay. So I've got these three. I only have one formula of stick eyeshadow. I used to use NYX ones, but I threw them all out because they were getting really old. These ones I have from Kiko Makeup Milano, which is this Italian-European brand that I discovered both on YouTube and when I went to Italy a few years ago. I actually went into one of their stores and just kind of explored it a little bit. Their stuff is really cheap. They're like drugstore prices, so I really enjoy that aspect, obviously, and the quality of the products I've tried so far, which is mostly like a couple of blushes, these eyeshadow sticks, and one more thing that I'll show you, but these are really good. I've never tried the Laura Mercier or the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow sticks before, but I think I'm satisfied with these enough that I don't feel obligated to like try another formula, because I don't use stick eyeshadows as much as I think I will. So this I have in 3 colors. This one is called what is this? They're just numbers actually. This is the number 25. This is like a taupey satin purpley color, which is very similar to this Colourpop one in Mixtape. They're very similar colors, so I was really into taupey colors for a very long time, as you can tell. So there's some cats moving the camera again. So that's this one, taupey gray, and then the next one is this reddish, not champagne, but more of a burgundy color, number 37. This one, it's hard for me to use because it's a little bit too red for my eyes. Actually, I feel like maybe I could use this more as an eyeliner than anything else. These are very blendable, as you can see. They do dry down well. And I would not put this color all over my lid, actually, obviously, because it's just too intense for me. It's not my kind of preferred everyday go to work weekend look either. So this is more of like an accent look if I want to kind of give more dimension to the outer corners of my eye with a fun color of some sort. That would be the color I would use. It's definitely a burgundy wine color. This next one is the Eyeshadow Sticks in 21. The shade number, it's more of a champagne pink, almost coral. As you can see, it's got that kind of like a little neon orange coral in it. All of these dry down really well, I think. As you can see, they don't really move anywhere. This one is a little bit patchier, I think, because the color base of it is more of a white, and it's just like not doing super well on my skin tone. So anyways, so those are the three colors. I have 21, 37, and 25. I don't use these a lot. I really should. They are, looking at them, nice colors, but I think I may pick other colors instead, just to maybe use colors I actually would consider using more often. And then I have like this like random hodgepodge of potted eyeshadows. So I have like this Hourglass one that's the scattered light glitter eyeshadow. This is the Chantecaille Mermaid eye color in Hematite. And lastly, I've got the Maybelline Color Tattoo High Roller shade. I've got some cats freaking out in the background here. So let's do the Hourglass one first. This one's like a really unique formula. I think a lot of people do talk about it on YouTube. This is in the shade Smoke. It's kind of this glitter top coat situation. I don't know how this happened here. Anyways, so it's kind of this very soft thing where I've got some on finger here. It's a taupey, well, it's not really taupey, you'll see. It's got some regions of brown and gold and bronze. It's such a wearable color. I wore this over kind of the holidays when I was visiting my in-laws, all over the lid, and it wasn't too much even though it is very glittery. It's got a nice neutral tone as the base color, as you can see, and it's just really nice as an option for someone who wants to wear glitter but do it in a very easy, inoffensive, and comfortable way. Next ones, I just got this one. This is the Chantecaille Mermaid eye color in Hematite. I was kind of Googling through a lot of cream eyeshadow formulas and just to see if there was anything that I'd be interested in. I'm obviously interested in the Tom Ford one that I haven't tried, haven't bitten the bullet to buy yet, but I do have a gift card from Sephora, so I may use it to get that one. But this is one that was on sale on the Nordstrom's website when they were having kind of a sale a couple weeks ago. This is also kind of that taupey, gray, purple tone, which I still enjoy, and I bought so many darker colors recently that, or so many bronzy colors recently actually, that I wanted to go back to my preferred taupe colors. So there's that one. It's definitely not as intensely shimmery as any of the other ones, even though it says it's a shimmer formula. It's actually more of a satin. It almost feels like just like a powder shadow. It feels like when you touch it, it reminds me of like kind of a very soft powder formula. I'm not sure why they call it or categorize it as a cream. It's very odd to me, but it's not amazing in any way. It does stay relatively well in my eyes, probably because it's got that more powdery formula. But I don't know, I probably wouldn't try other colors in this. The other colors, first of all, don't appeal to me, but also it's just like relatively unimpressive for me. So I don't know, I may skip on it. I would recommend skipping out on this. It's just not that exciting of a color or formula. So let's get to the last one. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoo cream eyeshadow in the color High Roller. And this one is so cheap at the drugstore. This is a bronzy color. I know they had old colors that they kind of redid. People do talk about the old colors, but this is kind of that new line. I really enjoy this cooler toned bronze color. It's somewhere in between the shades Bette and Marie Antoinette in the Charlotte Tilbury in terms of color. The formula is not really like any of the other ones that I have. It's cream, but it's like a very solid cream. So like you can make a dent in it, but you like have to warm it up with your fingers and then really kind of push and to get enough color on your finger. But it does stay better on the skin than the Charlotte Tilbury because I think it's a drier formula. So if I were to rank kind of all the formulas that I enjoy, I think I would do the Charlotte Tilbury ones first. So these guys will be kind of first place. And then I would do probably the Stila ones because they do stay on really well. There we go. And then I would give this color tattoo one. And I think I like these equally, even though they're very different beasts. This one's just for different purposes, obviously, but they're kind of equal in terms of ranking in my heart. Then I would do the Colourpop ones, and then Chantecaille, and let's see, and then I would do the stick eyeshadows because I just don't use them. So I think that's where they stand so far. Anyways, thanks for watching.